Welcome back. This is John Locke for Lockdown SEO, and today I want to talk about whether bounce rate is really a ranking signal in SEO or not. And a lot of people will tell you, a lot of SEO people will tell you that bounce rate is a signal, but it's not a good signal. I'll give you a few examples. First off, Google has been saying since 2008 that bounce rate is not a good signal. In 2008, Matt Cutts, who was the face of Google representation toward the public-facing SEO community for many years, said that bounce rate was a noisy and spammable signal. And in 2017, John Mueller, who today many people recognize as the public face of Google toward webmasters, said also that it's not a good signal. Gary Illyes, who is another Google representative, has said in the past that it's not a good signal for ranking. Now, let's talk about why bounce rate is noisy, spammable, not a strong signal, not a great signal for SEO rankings, and how did it come to being widely known as a signal when Google is so clearly telling you that it's not? Well, I think how it became a signal is mostly through SEO articles by noteworthy people in the search engine space telling you that it was a signal. And I think perhaps what happened at first is people saw these metrics in Google Analytics and they latched onto certain things as perhaps being signals because they saw it in Google Analytics. I'm not even really 100% sure how it became this quote unquote common knowledge, but I think it was like a case of people repeating the same things that other people had said until it became an urban legend that bounce rate was in fact a good signal. But why is it spammable and noisy? Well, if bounce rate was a negative signal, let's say that you have a page and I'm your competitor and I want to make sure that you go down in the rankings and I go up, I can hire a bunch of people, maybe on Fiverr or some other place like that, and get a lot of people to go to do a Google search, go to your page, and then bounce off of it. Let's define what bounce rate is. Bounce is when people go to one page and then they leave from that site. So they go to one page, it's a one page visit basically, and then they leave the site. Again, it's a thing where I'm not sure how people got the idea that a multi-page session to your website is a sign of quality, but that became quote unquote common knowledge. And ever since then, we've been dealing with that misinformation or that misinterpretation. But yeah, and people could easily spam it to make it a negative SEO attack against you if it was a thing. And likewise, if I wanted to pump up my own numbers, or if you had a business and you wanted to do this, you could easily hire a bunch of people to do a Google search, then go to a page, and then go visit some other pages on that site if that was a sign of quality. But here's the bottom line when it comes to bounce rate. If people are able to complete their goal when they go to a web page and they get what they need, whether that's finding information, filling out a form, booking an appointment, making a purchase, or whatever it is, if they can do it on that one page, then there's nothing that says that this is an unsuccessful visit. And I think that Google realized that as well. There's so many pages where you can accomplish your goal in one page depending on how the website is set up, but that doesn't make a one-page visit to a site bad. And I think especially over the last 10, 12, 13, 14 years, you've seen many more people with mobile devices. The nature of how people browse and use the internet has changed to where a lot more one-page visits are common, and people aren't just sitting down on one website on their desktop computer and then just browsing everything on that site. Their browsing habits have changed over time, but Google realized this a long time ago. And they've been trying to tell us for a long time the bounce rate is not really a signal. So if you ever have thought this in the past, just be aware that it is not a great signal. Google reps have been saying it for a long time. They've said it repeatedly. If your SEO consultant is telling you this, point them toward this video if you would like. You can find all these articles on Search Engine Journal where they're reporting on the Google rep saying, this is a bad signal. It's a terrible signal. It's not a great signal at all for measuring the quality of a page and whether we should rank it higher. Well, my name is John Locke. As you can see, the business is Lockdown SEO. If you like this video, give it a thumb up. It helps YouTube's algorithm surface this video to more people. And that's all I have for today. And until next time, peace.